Well, there we go. All right, we're live. Alrighty, hey everybody, welcome into another episode of the WTH podcast. Oh, got surprise Jason there. How's it going, everybody? Thank you for joining us from Australia through India across Europe to our one listener in Poland. Hi, are you nervous? I don't know why you would be. It's not like you got a neighbor to your east who's a little bit wacky, a little bit hair triggered, prone to invade countries for no reason at all. So let us know. What are we talking about today? This, that, and the other thing. It's going to be one of our more free-form shows, so excited to get into that. Jason is back from his trip to the 50th state, Hawaii. Kareem is sort of pixelated, so if you're watching the video presentation, we apologize for that. Just know his essence is strong. He's got a strong essence. I can't
believe I'm pixelated.
Even if he doesn't have a strong video presence. It's all good. This is an audio medium primarily. Video is just a bonus for everybody. So hope you're enjoying that. Hello to my in-laws of every stripe who might be watching on Facebook and our friends and everybody else like that. Welcome in. Oh, I have a Facebook message from someone who I'm guessing is not. Oh, apparently Stone Cold has a new podcast episode out.
Oh, that's yeah.
Good. That's good to know. So do I. Working on it right now. It was sent with the best of intentions. I know it was. So, all right. Let's just roll right into this. What do you guys want to talk about? Who wants to start?
We'll let Jason start telling us about his vacation.
All right, Jason, what do you want to talk about, buddy?
Yeah, just about vacation. Kauai was it was amazing. Like when people talk about like easygoing, like there's one road around the whole island, and like in some areas it gets up to 50 miles an hour. And then if you go up any of the other roads that like are like around there, those kids. If you go up any of those other roads, it's like, one lane. Sometimes it's two lanes, but it's slow going to say the least. But it was great, and was able to relax somewhat. The travel days, I'm shit. Like, I'm just a ball of nerves. This is what I've learned about myself more than anything else. After, like, post-COVID, like, post-restrictive COVID days. Like, I can't handle my kids. When there's lots of people around, and they're not listening. It's the worst, and it's so draining. Chris is such a saint and is so amazing about it because I am just like freaking out. So I'm kind of amped all day on the travel days, but otherwise, more time. I'm looking forward to going back to Kauai. I definitely think that I will be going to that island from now on. For sure. Found this beach that was you would have seen it in the beginning opening credits to Gilligan's Island, the bay that they show with the white sand, like white beautiful sand beach. We found the beach. We knew I found where it was. There was 6 groups of people on like this whole stretch of beach, like so far away from each other, like I could barely see people, and it's like over the reef a little bit, so it's perfect for the kids to go into, like stuff like that. Like that, we did CJ, my 5-year-old daughter, that is not even 2.5 feet. How tall is she? She's so small. She's so small. She did a 4.5 mile moderate hike, according to All Trails. Like moderate, lots of ups and downs, lots of steep areas. At the beginning, she was so timid and scared and didn't want to go down, any of the long drops in elevation or even up sometimes. But Layla, my goddaughter, EJ's daughter, the eldest, was teaching her to slide on her butt down the steep areas. And the second half of the hike, when we were hiking back to civilization, from now, we're like 1/10 away from the end of the hike. All right, like the very end of the hike, and there's a woman and her son. She was she was not very happy, and she said, "Well, that was underwhelming." And she's like, "You guys should just like look at the view here, and then just you don't need to go down to the rest of it. There's nothing. It's underwhelming." I went down there. It's a smallish waterfall. It's not huge. It's not 100-foot waterfall. It's not strike. It's like, maybe 30 feet, 40 feet, but it's one of those waterfalls that goes down onto one thing, onto another thing, onto another thing. So it like creates a cascading effect that's diagonal. It was beautiful. It goes into a pool, like a freshwater pool, like that you can dip your feet into. Like,
sounds pretty underwhelming.
Like, what are you fucking expecting? Like,
I mean, the way you described it, I'm not whelmed.
Listen,
slightly under.
It's, but it's also like there's a change of elevation of like 800 feet in the hike. All right, so you go down 800 feet from where you start. So you get to see from above the canopy of the forest, pretty much, and go down into like the rainforest area,
Hold on. So I have to hike down 800 feet to see 30 feet of waterfall?
Well, if you go further along, if you're adventurous enough, you can see like a 200-foot waterfall. But that's like an extremely difficult hike. So we weren't about to do that.
not to take the side of this bitch, but I can see why she might have said that. I wouldn't say that to people, but
No, I mean, I guess I don't nobody in our group thought it was underwhelming. Like EJ didn't think it was the kids thought it was amazing.
Well, the kids are kids. They're going to think everything's amazing. I'm just saying.
Not that I know this is a audio medium.
Sure, we have a video presentation though.
Look at that. Like, I showed you that other picture. That was towards the end of the hike.
Sure.
But let's see.
Jason's calling up photos now.
I'm calling up photos. I'm sorry, but I need to show you that.
Well, you focus on that. I'll tell people what you're doing, and we'll move the show along properly. All right. So Jason's going to hold up the photo. If you're watching right now, that's a cute little waterfall.
And you can get in there and you can swim around it and underneath it if you want to. And you can stand up in the water. You're not going to come up halfway in the bottom of the waterfall. You know what I'm saying? So it's not that small. But no, I don't know. I guess it's not just about the waterfall though. Like when you're hiking, like in that type of place, it's not just about that.
For the record, I'm just fucking with you to make it interesting.
Fuck all this shit.
Because I always hate it when people do that and they're like, "Oh, it was really underwhelming." That doesn't help me.
Yeah,
a helpful bit of information might be if you're expecting a huge waterfall, that's not what you're going to get. Okay.
And the thing is, though, is like I had researched this, so I knew. Like I saw already people say it's a small waterfall. Don't expect a huge, giant waterfall. So I knew what I was getting. I knew what to expect because I don't go on 4-mile hikes without knowing what I'm fucking doing. Well, and what my destination is.
You're not really an American, then, are you?
Well, I don't know. And we were there. Somebody had to get airlifted out. Somebody had sunstroke, and they had to get airlifted out from the top when we were up there. My 4.5-year-old though did it. My 4.5-year-old did it. She did not get picked up at all. She climbed up everything. Like I was so proud of her. Like, cause that shit's.
She slept good that night, didn't she?
What's that? Oh yeah.
So she slept good that night.
They slept good every night on vacation. Like it was great.
I think for the person who had the sunstroke, was it sunstroke? You said.
Yeah.
I think the message that they missed was don't go chasing waterfalls.
Yeah.
Stick to the rivers and the lakes that you're used to.
Oh, don't worry. I used up
We
all
were
those
warned.
jokes.
We were all warned.
We were all warned.
of this.
I should have said that too. I should have said it to the lady that said it was underwhelming. And it's like, well,
Yeah.
you know what they say? Don't go chasing waterfalls.
Well,
That would have been what I should have said.
now there you go. There you go. See, you should have brought me along. No,
Yeah.
we were on our own little little away.
Your birthday trip.
Yeah. Which was really great, except for one thing.
Uh-oh.
Me. I got into my head with some things, and I was not the greatest person to be around for sections of the time away. It wasn't my intention. It just kind of worked out that way that I'm the asshole. And yeah, so
Hey, Nate, I think we might be on our man periods together because I was definitely the asshole last week.
we've synced up.
We've synced up for sure.
We've synced up. And it sucks when you're that person, and I was that person. So, yeah, it was not. But ultimately, what a great trip it was. Beautiful views of the Pacific that we could see from the house. The hike down to the beach was, I don't know how many feet it was down. I know there was a lot of stairs because it was this winding path that went down, and then there were stairs, and then you got down to the beach. And the beach in Santa Cruz County, California in February is not like the beach in Kauai in February. It was chilly. It was chilly. Sam, who turned 3 on the trip, went out and she had the water come in over her feet, and she wanted to stay. She wanted to stay and do it, but she was shivering, like super cold shivering. And our son got to see the ocean for the first time. Now, unfortunately for him, he had to wear his sister's hand-me-down purplish and blue, purplish and pink swimsuit. I believe it has a little skirt on it, but that's okay. He'll be fine.
Poor fella.
He'll be fine.
Poor fella.
What he also got his little feet wet, and the first time he stood there and took the cold water like a man, and the second time the water was coming in, he did the full L, and those feet came right up before the water hit him. He was like, "No, one time you got me, next time absolutely not. I'm out." So went back with him and put him down on the blanket, and he decided that he was going to, no matter what I tried to do, was going to crawl over and eat a handful of sand.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That sounds about right. Right.
There's nothing better than a handful of sand when you're almost a year old. Just the best in the best sand in the world. Sand. And then he tore around the house. There was a lot of space for him to roll in his walker around the house, and he terrorized everyone because he got up to frightening speeds with the thing and would just slam into everything full bore. He didn't care about whiplash. Does not care. Zero fucks that kid's got. Not a fuck to give. Just right into it full bore. Boom, neck goes back. And then he laughs like a maniac. So yeah, it was intro first time in a Verbo. So there was a fountain out front that we only ran for other people to arrive. We didn't run it all week. But yeah, grand piano in the foyer.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a really good time. I just wish I wasn't quite so much of a snatch about things, but I like how you described your vacation and never mentioned that about yourself until after I came out and did it.
Well, I kind of did. I said that I couldn't handle my kids, on the travel days, and that was really the only times that I was that.
Okay,
and then we went to the luau, and I was kind of a jerk then too, just because, my daughter was like, everybody's wearing masks except these 4 people in the back, kind of near where we went and sat, because I knew that my daughter was going to get up and move around a lot, right?
Sure.
And I just kept going and going around, and like the benches. Oh man, I was getting so frustrated.
Would you just sit down?
Yeah, kind of that guy.
Make it stop. Which in your own house is one thing, but out in public you can't do that.
No, you can't do that. And I was kind of doing that. I was being a jerk.
Did you get the side? Did you get the side eye from the wife?
Oh, I got more than the side eye from the wife.
Elbow in the ribs?
I got more than that.
Oh. Oh no.
No, I mean, rightly so. I mean, it's just I definitely found out that I have a post-COVID, a way that I was not necessarily like that before. Like I don't remember being like that with CJ before COVID when we went out. So
there was a story I saw today about, and it was really weirdly done, and I was watching it on KCRA, and it was about how people they're not keeping their memories because of the pandemic. They're calling it some sort of pandemic brain, and not people who've had COVID, just anybody who's survived the pandemic. And at one point in this story, the audio slows down and goes, mm. I'm like, is that for effect? Nobody pre-watched that. It just went on like that. But people are losing sections of their memory because of the stress and the anxiety and everything else that's been happening over the past couple of years with that, and it's not necessarily coming back. It was kind of an interesting thing. It's one of those aside stories that you're like, well, is that really a thing, or what is going on with that? But
it's like the way I was thinking about like it used to be that I just maybe had 1 or 2 voices that were ridiculous in my head, that are saying stupid things that I had to be, keep quiet. But like now I have like 4 additional voices on top of that are all talking about things, that are related to health and hygiene and making sure that my kids don't get something and, possibly die. But it's not, is it that big of a deal? Do I need to even worry about it? I'm
going to say you might want to talk to someone about your meds.
Yeah.
If you've added extra voices in your head, I mean, maybe.
Well, no, I mean, you know what I mean. Like
I do.
It's just
I do. We went out Sunday. We went out and we went to find a park to bring the kids to because it was a nice day. Wanted to get out of the house, and we went to a park in West Sac, and it wasn't that big, and it was kind of crowded, and there was a cricket game going on, of all things. So we decided no, and we ended up going to McKinley Park, and the new playground at McKinley Park is really nice. And aside from the goose shit all over the ground everywhere, it was great. People were really cool. There were a good number of kids, but everybody was spaced out reasonably well. You're outside. And Sam was did all the stuff on the playground, and after about 15 minutes, took off out into the park because she saw some dogs and some other stuff out in the park. Hey, Kareem's back, and he looks great.
You look great now.
Right?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. We can actually see your face.
The funny thing is, on my end, you two were whirling like separate.
Yeah. Well, that's the beauty of the internet, isn't it?
Yes.
So yeah, we went to the park, and all of the anxiety leading up to going to the park turned out to be really nothing, which was nice. It was nice when we finished to be able to go. That was really nice. It was fun to do it. The kids had a good time because we had the new wagon, and he's in the wagon. He's sitting up high and seeing everything and laughing like a maniac. And again, other than the goose shit all over the ground, because McKinley Park is just rife with that. It was great. It was a lot of fun.
We're really lucky that we have the park down the street, like 2 blocks from us, because there's usually not that many people there, if anybody at all, and if somebody does show up and they're not wearing masks, or I just don't want, like, we can just leave, go home.
Yeah.
If one of the kids has to go potty, CJ has to go, needs to take a piss, and get home quick.
There you go. Kareem, what would you like to talk about? We've been going on for a while.
Let's see. In vacation to one of my favorite places, I did the monthly event at the ocean to some of the photos. It was
I hate
really
to do
good.
I
We
hate to
had
do
about
this.
20.
Kareem, I hate to do this to you, but your audio is garbled and cutting in and out. It's like I can't even understand what you're saying, which I hate
How's
to do
that
that
any
to you.
better?
That's better. I can hear you and understand you.
Okay.
Go ahead. Andy's gone.
Somebody's watching a 4K HD movie on the internet.
It could be a variety of things. We got faster internet here at the house, which is nice. So hopefully, on at least from what's coming on this end,
No,
it's it's all.
you look really great. You look
Thanks.
amazing.
And you look great yourself too.
Shucks.
I know Kareem was doing some things for Black History Month. I believe he was at the old sugar mill. There was an event at Old Sugar Mill because I'm posting about that. So here he comes. Let's see. There he is. He's back. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so I did a Black History Month event. We had probably about 2,500 people show up. There was a bunch of different artists and vendors. Barb from the Brick House Help was one of the sponsors. And it was all wasn't just it was like all kinds of people that came through. I had some really good conversations with a lot of different people. I had a white guy from South Dakota tell me how the racist thoughts that he had before he met any black people, because there wasn't in South Dakota where he was at. And then he told me a story about he had a black friend that he met in Minnesota, and this guy, they went to the mall, and this guy said, "Watch me go in the store." And the guy went in the store. The people ignored him except for security. And then he came back out, and the guy was like, "Okay, now you go in." And he went in, and they asked him if he needed help like right away. And he was like, "Well, I would have brought something in here, but the way you just treated my friend who came in, so I didn't." So that was one of the good conversations. I think his friend got nervous. He was going to say something that was going to offend me. But I understood where he was going, and I understood his intent and what he was saying. So I wasn't going to get butthurt about what he was saying because I knew what he was trying to say. So it was some really good, interesting conversations until I ran into one of Jason's cousins who decided that he wanted to explain the meaning of life to me using 90 Day Fiance.
The only problem is that would be Nate's cousin, because I've never watched that show.
Look, you can. There's a lot you can take from 90 Day Fiance. If you can find the meaning of life in there, good for you. That's what I say.
Sea cream.
It was so funny because his friends. So it was a group of 4 of them. So his friends stopped talking to me and started talking to each other once brought up 90 Day Fiance because they wanted to get out of the conversation. It was like, "Oh shit, there it again."
Look, it's not. You can't go halfway on 90 Day Fiance. You're either in or you're out. And in this house where I'm sitting, we're in.
Dude, it was like watching the way that they just kind of bailed on the conversation. It was like, "Oh shit."
Well, here's the thing. I guarantee that guy does that all the time. So
Yeah.
it's not the first time that he's done it when they're around. And every time they're waiting for him to say the most ridiculous, embarrassing thing. So now they just ignore it when it starts.
Yeah. I was like, "Well, you could have kept him out of my conversation if that's the case."
Oh, they wanted to share the
and
love.
It was funny because he was Asian, and there was an Asian lady also in that group, and so So he started bringing that up, and so we're having this conversation about how we don't necessarily have conversations about certain things, no matter what group it's in. And he was like, "Oh no, people are having those conversations all the time." And she both looked at him like, "No, they aren't." And then he was like, "The 90-Day Fiance." I was like, "Oh shit."
Which one? The Other Way, Before the 90 Days, Happily Ever After? There's a whole bunch. There's a new one
God.
where there's a new one, by the way. This is great. You're going to love this. Where one member of the couple lives in the middle of nowhere and the other person has moved in with them. And it's a delight. We've watched, I believe, 3 or 4 episodes of that, Leslie?
What?
The Live in the Woods 90 Day?
Oh, Off the Grid.
Off the Grid, 90 Day Fiance Off the Grid.
Well, since you
Season 2 July.
Leslie says it is the meaning of life. The best one is there's this 27-year-old dude who has moved into, they call it a ranch, but it's really a trailer that this 57-year-old lady has in Yucca, Arizona. And it's quite something. They had met in LA 5 years ago and knocked some boots. And he arrived from Dallas on the bus, got to Arizona. At the end of his first full day, they're having romantic time out by the fire, which they burned a pallet and then pulled a mattress over on the ground next to it to watch the fire. Well, it turns out, so we cut to the next morning because they're all excited. They're doing their little dances for each other. Now, keep in mind, he's 27, she's 57. They went inside. Now, this place has no electricity, only generator. And they're having foreplay, and she can hear the generator starting to run out of fuel. So she goes out to refuel the generator. And when she comes back in, he's asleep, and she cannot wake him up. But the cameras, of course, are gone for the day. They're there at 7 a.m. when they wake up, and she's pissed. She's mad, like angry, going to hold a grudge because he fell asleep. Keep in mind, first day there.
Put out.
Well, the first day there, she's got him doing manual labor morning and evening because that's the only time you can do it when it's not 120 degrees.
Yep.
And the day before, he had ridden a bus from Dallas to Yucca, Arizona, and she couldn't wake him up. And then she was mad about it, like legit mad. And
Well,
I'm sorry. It's just the ridiculousness of it is wonderful.
Well, since you're on TLC, you should watch the show Stuck.
Well, you mentioned that it's not on Discovery. It's not on the Discovery Plus app. So,
yeah, it's only been on
we can't deal with commercials.
It's only been on a couple of weeks, so
okay.
I'm pretty sure it'll get there.
We'll keep an eye out.
Yeah, but that one has it's everything. If you've ever met anybody who worked in the emergency room, it's all the stories that they tell you about shit that they find in the emergency room.
So it's like Tales from the ER.
Yeah, but it's so well
graphic.
I watched, they pull an 8-inch vibrator out of this girl's butt, and actually not out of her butt, out of her colon, because it had gone all the way up to the other part of her colon. Wow,
that's impressive. That's because you sent a picture and it has a handle.
Yes,
and with the funny thing is because you took a picture of the TV and with no size thing, I was fucking with you. I was like, is that a bottle opener? Because it looked like a bottle opener. If a bottle opener had anal beads.
And it was funny because that doctor had in the lead up was telling about all the stuff that he had pulled out of people, and then he saw that and he was like shocked.
Did EJ regale you with stories of things he's pulled from people's butts, Jason?
A little bit.
Or is that not a specialty?
No, a little bit. But really, we talked more about how depressing things were, like working in the ER.
Oh man, that sounds like a paradise vacation.
Yeah.
You're here in Hawaii in paradise. Let me tell you about how depressing the ER is.
Yeah.
Let me
But
live in it for a bit. Poor bastard.
Oh,
I was asking.
Did you go to the barbecue?
We did not
Did
have
you go to the barbecue
time.
place?
We did not have time.
Oh, see, Kareem, you knew he was going to disappoint you with that.
I'm
I knew
sorry.
it was.
We didn't. We were there for 4 nights, really. Like, and
Daddy, can you please turn the light on in the bathroom?
Mommy can do that. Okay. Mommy's right over there. She can do it. Here, hey, listen. Say hi to everyone.
Hi.
You just told everybody on here that you needed to go to the bathroom.
Hi.
So say hi.
Hi.
That's Kareem, and that's Nate.
She knows. Hi.
All right, say bye.
Bye.
Okay, go. See you later.
Daddy is okay.
See you later. Okay, I'll see you later. Bye. I can't hear you right now. I love you. Bye.
What's the name who owns Sam?
Yes, that's Sam's daddy. Yes, that's Sam's daddy.
Look, it's important to know who you are and where you come from in people's
Yeah.
eyes. And I'm Sam's dad.
That's your Sam's dad. Just like
I'm
you know
Sam.
that.
I'm Sam's dad. And
How's
what?
that make you
makes
feel?
It makes me feel great, honestly. Of all the things I've been in my life, that's probably one of the best. So
That
yeah,
picture you,
90 Day Fiance and butts. Okay.
The picture you posted yesterday was one of the cutest things I've seen in a long time.
The one that Leslie took of both of us on our tablets.
Yes.
Yeah, she climbed up in the chair and she had her tablet and I was playing a game and she had her tablet as I think it was Saturday Night Live was what we were watching at the time, but yeah, she's adorable. I mean, she just turned 3 and she is both the sweetest thing in the world and the most infuriating at the same time, as is I think every 3-year-old. So
that sounds about right.
Yeah, it's just the way it is. Boy. Yeah, so 90 Day Fiance off the grid. There's a dude that lives on the mountain in North Carolina, Kareem. You really have to check this out. Do you have Discovery Plus?
I don't have Discovery Plus, but
okay.
I said I do have the Discovery Channel.
No, I get that.
TLC.
I just don't. There's a lot of things that are on the Discovery Plus app that are not on, that aren't broadcast on TLC or Discovery. So that's why I asked. I'm not sure if this one is or not, but yeah, this dude lives on the mountain in North Carolina, and there's a lot of talk about that. And his cabin, the turlet, is 3 feet from the corner of the bed, and it's in the same room. Yeah, it's like a 10 by 10 cabin. It's small. It's really small.
That's what she said.
Being somebody who grew up with an outhouse, that is not no.
Well, he did say she could go outside. However, she didn't want to be outside with the bears. And he offered to go outside when she's going. He goes, do you want to go outside when I go? And she said no. And one of the reasons she said no is she asked what that thing was right next to the front door. And he explained it was a bat box. And if you're unfamiliar with a bat box, it's something you put out for the bats to come and land and crawl up into so they don't crawl up into your house. But she wasn't really keen on hanging out just outside near the bat box in the middle of the night while he took a shit. Because her first question was, what happens if you get up at 2 a.m. and have to go to the bathroom? And he's like, you go. And she's like, no.
Yes. I had a whole bit about it.
Yeah. Well, this wasn't an outhouse. It was an in-house. It was an in-house.
Oh,
and there was no privacy. So the funny thing was he has a curtain. He has a shower with a curtain, but the toilet, no. I mean, he lived alone, so I mean, what do you care?
Yeah.
But I mean, when you can reach the corner of the bed from the shitter, I mean, you live in a small house.
Yeah, no.
That's classy.
That is no. That is not classy.
Well, if you go back to olden times where you had the chamber pot, I mean, it's almost regal when you think about it.
Yes. Yeah. You never shit in the chamber pot. Never.
Okay.
Well, maybe you.
Have,
But
look,
Maybe you.
like I said, haven't grown up with them. No.
I believe the king shits in the chamber pot.
I say that's some white
King
that's some
sits in
white
the
boy
chamber
stuff.
pot.
That's some white boy shit.
Yes,
That's some white boy stuff.
Look, and even that sat in the corner on the other side of the room, or in the room that nobody slept in.
Yeah,
Dude, there's
but as
only
we
one room, and the other side of the room is 6 feet away. 6 feet away. And the only way to get to the farthest corner from the bed is the shower, and the shower is next to the toilet. That is the cabin.
Wow.
That is the cabin. And it's still one of the better ones. We've got David has weighed in with never shit at the Del Taco of Alhambra at 2 a.m.
yes.
Done.
Just don't shit at a Del Taco. Period.
I mean, if you eat it at a Del Taco, then I mean, you're increasing your chances of having to do that.
That's why you get it to go, bro. That's why you always get it to go, because you don't know when it's going to make you go. You know what I'm saying? Like, it could be immediate.
He adds worst date ever. I will top that. I had a girl who shit her pants in the car. It's one of my best dating stories. I'll tell it another time on the show. We've told it before.
I had a date pee the bed.
I still say shitting her pants in the car.
Oh no, that's sad though. That's just sad.
Well, look, I'll tell the story another time. Like I said, I've told it before. It's been a while. We'll do it. We'll do it coming up. Maybe in April. Maybe in April we'll do the girl crapping her pants in the on the date story.
Awesome! I can't wait.
Yeah. Needless to say, there was not another date, but you'd have to listen to the story to find out why. Okay. So this past week has been very interesting. There's been a lot of Donald Trump out and about and saying things. There were a few things he had to say at the CPAC.
2022 will be the year that millions of everyday citizens stand up to the left-wing fascists, and they'll continue, and we will all continue together to make America great again.
Words, 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 fascist words, leftist words. Doesn't really mean anything. Just so you know, he was also playing the hits, but with adding some interesting ideas to how he was going to be able to complete things.
The wall will be quickly completed. To build the wall, complete the wall in 3 weeks. Took 2.5 years on the wall, 2.5 years to win all of the litigation, over 11 lawsuits that they threw at us. And we have it just about finished. And then I said, they can't be serious. They don't want to close up the little loops.
No, it's not even close to finished.
It's not. I mean,
it's not even close.
Some parts have to be rebuilt.
Yeah, and there's also that thing about eminent domain seizing seizing all of this property that people don't want taken away from them for the wall.
Yeah.
This one's interesting.
We love Ronnie. He said President Trump is the healthiest president in history. If he didn't eat junk food, he'd live for 200 years. That got us into a lot of trouble, right, Ronnie? That statement got us into trouble, but that's okay.
I believe that cost Ronnie his medical license. He's a congressman now. Congressman Ronnie.
It should have cost him his license.
Yeah. Let's see. I want to. You might like this, Kareem. So, Joe Biden announced that he has his pick for the Supreme Court, and Donald Trump, of course, had some thoughts on her.
a radical left zealot, has been nominated to the Supreme Court of the United States.
No. And she was just confirmed by the Senate like a year and a half ago for the current job that she has. And 3 Republicans, including Lindsey Graham, voted for her. So, FYI.
And she's more qualified than the last 3 people he put up.
Well, yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
There's that.
There's that.
There's that. She clerked for Stephen Breyer, and that is the justice who is retiring. I'm reminded of Fredo from The Godfather. You remember Fredo from The Godfather?
Yeah.
I'm smart.
Yesterday, reporters asked me if I thought President Putin was smart. I said, of course he's smart, to which I was greeted with, oh, that's such a terrible thing to say. I'd like to tell the truth. Yes, he's smart. The NATO nations, and indeed...
Hold on. You like to tell the truth? Bullshit. I like to tell the truth. He can't. That's not even true.
the world, as he looks over what's happening strategically with no repercussions or threats whatsoever, they're not so smart. They're looking the opposite of smart. If you take over Ukraine, we're going to sanction you, they say. Sanction? Well, that's a pretty weak statement. Putin is saying, oh, they're going to sanction me. They sanctioned me for the last 25 years. You mean I can take over a whole country and they're going to sanction me? You mean they're not going to blow us to pieces, at least psychologically? The problem is not that Putin is smart, which of course he's smart, but the real problem is that our leaders are dumb. Dumb.
Okay, I just realized this. His speech pattern, that going up and down like that, literally gives me car sickness. That's what it is. I was just able to put my finger on it. I need a Dramamine to listen to him. And just the speech pattern. It wouldn't matter what he was saying. Just the speech pattern. Kareem, you'd like to weigh in?
So Putin was smart. He was so smart that he's losing his war, and those sanctions that he talked about that didn't mean anything. If somebody cut off your bank account completely, what could you fucking do?
Exactly. Like he can't do
somebody
business
took
in
all your money.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? Nobody's gonna die from it. We're not going to nuclear war over it.
No.
But you know, they're dumb. We're dumb because we're not bombing people. Nobody's gonna
I mean,
but now
I give no credence to what he's saying,
but now we know why Putin had him elected.
Yeah, we know that. All right, so Putin is smart, but Donald Trump also spoke of tyranny, the real tyranny that people have been subjugated to in other countries.
Yet if the radical Democrats truly want to fight for democracy abroad, if they want to look abroad.
Hold on, aboard? If they want to fight for aboard what? All right, sorry, I interrupt.
Fight for what they want to fight for, which I don't think they do. They should start with the democracy that is under threat right next door, a place called Canada. Where, by the way, we got rid of NAFTA and we have the USMCA, that's Mexico and Canada. One of the greatest deals we ever made. And I know it's great because they want to renegotiate the deal. That was a horrible deal. NAFTA was the worst trade deal ever made. And Now we have probably the best trade deal ever made, but they want to renegotiate, and they probably will do it. This administration, oh, sure, that's not putting America first. We put America first. It's a great deal. They should leave it. They've been ripping us off for 30 years. It's time for us to do well. The tyranny we have witnessed in Canada in recent weeks should shock and dismay people all over the world. In an advanced Western democracy, the peaceful movement of patriotic truckers, workers, and families protesting for their most basic rights and liberties has been
Incorrect. These are not their most basic rights and liberties. You don't have the right to not get vaccinated and keep a job for a private company.
Nope.
There are rules. Sorry, there are rules. And 90% of Canadian truckers are vaccinated. 90%. It's a pretty significant amount. This was such a small fringe group of people that got so much coverage. And the part that is the spread of stupidity north is crazy. No, not to say there aren't dumb people in Canada, because there are. There are dumb people everywhere. But this idea of their First Amendment rights, this was brought up many times by not just Americans with no clue, but by Canadians too. When they got to court to complain about their First Amendment rights being violated, the judge was like, "What are you talking about? The First Amendment to the Constitution of Canada involves Manitoba becoming a province. It has nothing to do with what the First Amendment of the United States Constitution is. Nothing. Absolutely nothing." But they're out there rambling on with their, I saw several people with Make America Great Again hats. I saw a variety. It's the same, just, what are you doing? What are you doing? Are you that
Putin's puppets?
Are you that sad in your own life that you are making yourself a victim? Because that's what happens. There's a lot of complaining about primarily minorities, but they like to lump in all liberals and say, well, they're snowflakes. They're complaining about whatever. And they're saying that they're repressed. Look how badly we're repressed. Well, but you're not repressed because you have a choice. You can do something about what's happening there. If you are in a minority group that has been repressed for years and years, there's not a ton you can do. It's yes, you can do things to advance your own personal well-being, but there's a lot of things working against you. And this idea that they're saying I have to get vaccinated or I can't drive a truck across the international border is it's not repression. You're not being repressed. Asking you to wear a mask is not repressing you. It's not violating your rights. Violating your rights is having your neighbor country start shelling you for no reason. That's violating your rights.
That would suck ass.
Right. It's just so frustrating. It's just so frustrating and exhausting. It's frustrating and exhausting and sad. It makes me sad. Sad and angry.
put down.
Go away. Yeah. Oh, and he here's the new one. So Hillary Clinton is back. Not really. But there's this investigation that was done in Colorado that was supposed to find out all of this stuff. Now, what they're talking about is not actually in the report. Hillary Clinton didn't really do anything. The timing is different. It doesn't have anything to do with that, but it doesn't stop this nonsense.
Now we know that crooked Hillary not only spied on my campaign, she spied on the White House.
No. The Obama administration's CIA had surveillance on Trump Tower because there were Russian nationals who were known to be doing things they shouldn't be doing business in Trump Tower. So yes, the CIA was keeping an eye on them. That was the Obama White House. It wasn't Hillary Clinton, but okay. It's easy because it's so easy to not like Hillary Clinton. So all of a sudden I'm on Twitter 2 weeks ago and Hillary Clinton's trending and I'm like, what's happened? What has happened? Has she gone hiking? Is there another Hulu series? Has there been a health issue that we should know about? And it turns out no, it's just more nonsense.
Mind you, this wasn't a new story.
No.
This isn't a new story. We've known that the CIA, the FBI had Trump Tower under surveillance since he started running, because he was money laundering for the fucking Russians.
Allegedly. And he's been complaining about this for 6 years. So it's not even the first time it's been mentioned.
Yeah.
But
so
now
fact,
it's yeah,
the
go
fact
ahead.
that him and everybody else pretended like it was something new. Like, no, motherfucker, we already knew that. You knew that.
Yeah.
Well, he denied because he didn't want to be associated with it, right? And now he can use it for his advantage. And now people believe it.
all of these things that are thrown out there like that all seem to come about the time we find out about some prosecution getting a little bit closer to him and what his financials and all of that. This one came out about the time his accounting firm said, yeah, he's not our client anymore, and you really shouldn't trust any of the figures that have been provided over the past 10 years.
Bye.
That happened, and suddenly crooked Hillary was spying on us, and everybody's chanting "lock her up." And I mean, it's such interesting sleight of hand, because
it's so sad because you don't have anything else.
Well, what's sad is that people buy it.
Yeah, but I'm like, we've already had this conversation piece.
Mm-hmm. No, you're absolutely correct. It's been a lot.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Right. That's what I say. All right, real quick.
Florida.
Okay. I love this headline. I don't know why, other than it is from Florida. Open up. Florida man shoplifts crossbow by stuffing it down his pants. That is the headline. Twitter is being kind of huffy with me right now, so sorry, I don't have more for you. But this dude shoplifted a crossbow, stuffed it down his pants, and walked out. Is that a crossbow in your pants, or are you just happy to see me? A crossbow. Anywho. Crossbow. I absolutely love that. I was not aware that Kansas City welcomed 25 million visitors annually.
Yes,
but I mean,
a year.
Look, how I understand they do things differently in the Midwest, and good for them, I guess. But yeah, I was unaware of that. Thank you, Kareem. That came from Twitter. 25 million visitors annually. That's from their tourism folks. Let's see what else we got here. We're almost done. So Colin Kaepernick is back in the news, sort of. This was very quiet. I only saw this in one place, on CBS News. But he's launching an initiative through his Know Your Rights camp that will offer free secondary autopsies to family members of anyone whose death is police related. It collaborates with a panel of board-certified forensic pathologists who perform autopsies, disclose preliminary findings, and issue final reports to requesting families, saying, "We know the prison industrial complex, which includes police and policing, strives to protect and serve its interests at all costs. The autopsy initiative is one important step toward ensuring that family members have access to accurate and forensically verifiable information about the cause of death of their loved one in the time of need." That's the quote from Colin Kaepernick. The goal of the initiative is to eliminate concerns about reliability and objectivity of the first autopsy conducted, the risk of manipulation of evidence, and a potential bias on behalf of the coroner or medical examiner, and or the use of faulty forensic procedures. So good.
So we watched all of these police shows, and it's made us think that autopsies and forensic science is so advanced. And then in a lot of these states, it's like your cousin's uncle is a fucking town coroner. So
it's an elected position. It's an elected position. Literally anybody can run for coroner in a lot of places.
Yeah. So we need to educate ourselves on, again, how shit really works. Because
I mean, it's just, look at it this way. It's just a second opinion. You get them from doctors all the time, except in this case, it's for the autopsy. And if they've got here's what it should do. These backup autopsies, we'll call them, should come back reading virtually the same thing the initial one does.
Exactly.
That's what it should. And knowing that it's out there is just knowing that it's out there and available to people is going to keep a lot more of them towing the line on shit, because the last thing you want is to come back and go, no, we have our expert who did the autopsy and we found some shit that you missed, and nobody wants that.
Did anyone of you watch the Netflix series about the lady in, she's up in your neck of the woods state, who was a lab technician and she was stealing drugs?
No, I haven't seen it, but I've heard of it.
And take the drugs.
What's it called?
Manufacturing the drug case, I think, is something like that. Because you had the Indian lady they kept talking about that was on the news, who was who manipulating cases by manipulating her results. But this chick was a white woman, and she was actually doing the drugs that's supposed to be being tested for the case.
So a white lady in Vermont, that's all we have.
Yes.
That's all we have.
She was next door. Yeah, she was taking the actual drugs.
Next door, you mean she was in New Hampshire, where terrible people are from?
Yes.
That's right. I'm going to continue to say terrible things about New Hampshire because they deserve it.
Yes.
Allegedly.
No, they do.
She was in one of those. But she was taking that fucking drugs.
Fuck New Hampshire. That's what we want to say about that. All right. I have a clip from
It's the shittiest state next to a few of the southern ones.
It's holding Maine hostage from the rest of America is what it's doing. That's what it's doing. It holds no purpose other than that. It's got a tiny bit of seacoast only because it's holding Maine hostage. It should not. It doesn't deserve it. Give it back. The only good thing about New Hampshire, and I would put that in air quotes, but they're not worth raising my fingers to do it, is that they have liquor stores in rest areas on the highway. Which, I mean, sure, it's a good thing unless people are really drunk and on the highway. And then maybe not a great idea. You know, I'd love to get more liquor, but I don't want to pull off into town. That's too much trouble. Oh, New Hampshire has a solution for me.
I'm too hammered to go on the surface streets, all right? I just need to stop by the place out the highway, and I'll just get in there quick, and we'll go. We'll get it done. Four Locos, baby.
Any final words before we hear from the pillow guy, Mike Lindell? Kareem, what about you? Any final words?
Oh
leave
man,
us by.
I had a Facebook memory today of a talk that I gave at a school for Paul Willis, who's a friend of mine who does stuff with schools. And there was a sixth grader who told me, life only owes you life.
Okay. Jason, final thoughts?
Man. Don't piss your wife off.
I'll go along with that. Don't be the problem.
Yeah.
Don't be that asshole on vacation. Stop it. I'm talking to myself now. It's my own pep talk. Don't be that guy. All right, so we're gonna wrap this up as promised with Mike Lindell.
Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, Mike Lindell.
Go fuck yourself. Say it again. Go fuck yourself.
Mike Lindell. Mike Lindell, the pillow guy.
No negative self-talk.
Oh, there we go. All right, this is the end of his interaction with a reporter.
Traitor! CBS, Robert Koska is a traitor to the United States of America. No, you're a traitor. This is old news. You're regurgitating. You care about, why are you protect a company called Dominion and you attack a company called My Pillow? You're a traitor to our country. You're a disgusting leader. Traitor! You're disgusting. Disgusting. CBS, you're one step above Fox, who doesn't talk at all. That's what you guys are. He's asking me about the picture at the White House a year ago. You're disgusting.
You won't tell me the lawyers who gave
You're
it to you.
disgusting.
Why won't you
You're
do it?
disgusting.
You support the
You're disgusting. Are you a communist?
Are you a communist?
Are you a communist?
Just a reminder, Dominion is suing Mike Lindell for about $100 billion. I think it's like $3 billion, but still, it's way more than he has. Mike Lindell also was photographed walking out of the White House with a legal pad that had written on it, martial law, ? Yeah, we're still talking about it. It wasn't that long ago, and it's about trying to overturn a lawful election. And to call somebody else a traitor after what you're doing, you silly pillow man. Why are you defending Dominion and attacking company My Pillow? I don't believe we're attacking the company. We're attacking you.
You, buddy.
You, pillow man. Pillow man. If you weren't from Minnesota, I'd swear you were from New Hampshire. I'm just gonna say it. Just
Man.
You dick.
Hampshire can eat a dick, for sure.
Yep. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of the WTH podcast. Thanks for joining us across the fruited plain. Our thoughts go out to the folks in Ukraine fighting the good fight. I don't know enough about everything going on there and all of the information that's flowing back and forth for us to have a reasonable conversation about it on this show. So that's why we really didn't. That's why we sort of glossed over it a little bit, because we're not helping by doing that. So I will say this, the president of the Ukraine telling the United States on the offer to be evacuated out that he didn't need a ride, he needed ammunition. The balls on that guy. That guy's got fucking balls.
Oh man,
That's what I'm saying.
those women fighters, man.
And again, there's language barriers. The news is coming from a lot of different places. I just hope it ends soon, and I hope it ends with Russia getting turned back where they belong, and maybe it's time for Putin to be retired, because there's plenty of demonstrations against this in Russian cities across Russia.
Yeah,
the videos of him holding these cabinet meetings, the world's biggest fucking tables, and everybody's at the other end. It's craziness.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's going to do it for us. Next week, hopefully back in studio, and we can all be seen in our glorious high definition, and go from there. So, all right, everybody, be good. Take care. And for God's sake, don't be an asshole. We'll see you next time.